Hello, everybody. It's a solder stream today. Get this rolling. There we go. Hot things and alcohol, always a good mix. Alrighty. Frederick, what's up? Welcome. We are going to go on a soldering journey today. My first time actually soldering a keyboard, if you've been following along on the stream at all. We have done some soldering projects up to this point. This was my first attempt. This was at a little workshop at a makerspace nearby. And then over the course of a couple streams, we worked on this little Simon game, which was very cool. Still working. And so these were kind of some warm-up projects for me. And I think based on what I know about keyboards, these are actually more difficult because like in the case of the microcontroller on this Simon game, like these tiny little pins that are fairly close together. I think we may have an easier time working on keyboard switches. So, it was either, and I can't remember for sure now, if it was either for Christmas or my birthday, but I think it was birthday. My partner got me a Skelett 60 kit from Novel Keys, which is very exciting. So it's a very simple kind of stacked standoff 60% solder kit, and we are going to attempt to assemble this today. Let me go ahead, and I'm not sure what is playing right now. Let us change that. I might go ahead and get the soldering iron heating up. And we'll also see if the new electric setup in the space kind of works, because I have things routed differently now, and I have a big new power strip mounted to the underside of my desk so that I can have things like my fan and my soldering iron plugged in, not across the room and run over here with extension cords. So hopefully that will all work much more smoothly. But I don't know how long this is going to take me, so I might dive right in. So let's see. Let's see what we got. I forgot how fast I got this Hacko soldering iron heats up so fast. I keep forgetting. I don't need to give it a few minutes. It's essentially less than 30 seconds. All right. Here we go. Make sure we've got everything. So we've got some standoffs potentially. Our PCB. And I think we should probably test it, right? That's what people do with solder PCBs. Let's see what we got in the bag. We have a base plate with a little illustration on it here. And we've got a plate, looks like FR4 to me. And our PCB. And then we've got a bunch of our, let's see if we can see what all the hardware is. If it's just standoffs or if there's anything else in here. Looks like just standoffs, and I think it's all the same kind of screw as well. So, well, I would think, oh no, these are not countersunk, so I think, yeah. I think it's all the same. Let's get all the bits and bobs out. One more screw in there. Okay. Let me get my phone out of here. Don't need that right now. Actually, I'm going to need even more real estate. So we can go ahead and get the old mat out here. Work on this. On this surface. Oh, still some old crusty flux on here, I think, from last time. All right. So, in order to test this, let me grab some tweezers. And grab... Don't know if this will actually work. Hey, keyboard assistant. Sure. Unfortunately, I don't have any keys. Do I do it like this? Nope. There's it is. Press the key immediately to the right of the shift key on the left side. So if I'm going to do full shift, then that'll be this. And this. Done. Okay, well that works so far at least. That is good. It is mostly being recognized. So if I pull up my browser here, let's authorize the Skelett. And do a little test matrix here, right? I don't know if the sound may come through. I don't know if I set this up correctly. Oh, are these not gonna work? Yeah, that's what the pros do. Test sounds, waveform. And reset. Maybe I haven't actually done this before. Oh, maybe I have it set to the wrong one. Hold on. Nope, Skelett, it is right. Well, the first part worked at least, so that's somewhat encouraging. Test matrix. But none of these are working. No thank you, floating trap. We will ban you. Goodbye. Let me see if I can get this to work. Ba 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 da ba ba. Key sounds, yes. But nothing is actually registering. It worked to actually activate them, though, when it first showed up, which is strange. Yes, Skelett. And I have it selected as the correct thing right here. Yes, I didn't want to have a repeat of when I built the stratum and was trying to edit everything on the macro pad. Well, it is typing when I'm in my little notepad when I hit return. So that is working. I don't know why VIA is not cooperating. What's up, keyboard dad? So it is actually doing the registering. It's just not showing up in VIA for some reason. But the keys, like these slots, are working correctly for some unknown reason. but weird. Huh. Babe, wake up. It's a stream. Reload. What's up? Happy birthday. Just doing a PCB test. So when I actually like go into my little notepad, I'll just have to do it this way. Yeah, that worked. Everything's working, but it's not working in VIA. It's working. I have it in like my little scratch pad, A, S, D. Like they're all actually functioning as expected and typing. But for some reason, it's not doing it in VIA. Shift, yes. Z, X, Z, Oh, wait, did that one work? Yes. Did B work? Yes. Spacebar. Yeah, that's working. Yeah, everything's working as expected. Do you need the file for it? No, it shows up. It shows up as the Skelett 60 in VIA, and I figured it's also old. Maybe try without matrix mode, because that sometimes throws things off. Oh, really? Like turn the test matrix off and then try it? Oh, yeah. Look at that. You're so smart. This is why I stream, so I can have the people who are smarter than me actually tell me how things work. P. It's weird that the test matrix would throw it off. I feel like that's not great. Tab. Escape, I already know works. Ooh, 5 works. These might both be considered backspace right now. Oh no, that's considered delete. Ooh, a nice LED for capsock. I'll have to keep that in mind if I want to use a keycap set that has a shine through. This is appropriate, considering it was Star Wars Day. Yeah, we were gonna try to do a, if the mantas had gone out. Windows. If the mantas had gone out earlier, because I think Bowl just finished QC on them. Oh yeah, that won't show up anything there, because there's only the 3 keys over here. What are we gonna see here though? We got anything here? I'm not concerned about that one. Okay. Jolly good. Anyway, since Bowl just finished up the QC on them, I think he's hoping to get them actually shipped out this week. So we won't... Maybe we'll get to build a Manta next week. We'll see. But our Star Wars build that I had hoped to do today is not going to pan out. But we will still have fun with our Skelett. Now, I have some, since I didn't know how long this was going to take, I harvested some stabs from my cycle 7 actually. And we will build with those. So let me go ahead and chuck these in. Also, I found out about this. Oh, let me get rid of ARC, or my, don't need that up here anymore. For anyone who's got the Nanch screwdriver, Geon version or not, I just found out that this can telescope. Did you know this? This little ring here, I had no idea. It actually moves, and if you pull down on it, you get a telescoping screwdriver. I had no idea that this was a thing. I just thought it was a cool screwdriver, but now it's even cooler. And then you can just pull the ring back down to put it back. What will they think of next? Wild stuff. So I don't know if these will need any tuning or not, because they've kind of been chilling for a little bit, but we'll just go with it. We'll give them a quick test after we get the standoffs and the plate in. Throw some switches in and give it a try. I'm thinking today, also if you're curious, you can also hit !build about what we're doing. But I'm thinking of using some Swag Key Cocoa Blacks that I've had. Chucking them in the mix. Maybe using some DCS today. Some Baja Nights, since we're working with a largely black setup, since there's no case to speak of. Oh geez. Oh geez, oh my. By the way, for anyone who tuned in to our 200 followers spectacular last week, thank you again. The bulk of the giveaways have gone out. Picked up this morning, which is very fun. Oh yeah, this can do ISO. There we go. Which is very fun to get all that out the door. I mentioned this in my Discord, but it's true that I weirdly really enjoy shipping packages, like the whole process of like packing and mailing and like getting the shipping figured out and making the labels and scheduling pickups and all that kind of stuff, which is something I discovered about myself back when I used to have an online store because I made like prints and enamel pins and stuff. And for a while I sold stuff through my online store and was regularly sending out orders and whatnot, and discovered that fulfillment was actually something that I weirdly liked. I don't know if that would change if I had to do it as a business, but full-time situation, but here and there, it's fun. It also gives me a weird sense of like vindication of like wanting to keep random boxes. I feel like this would be perfect. What if I need this for shipping something? So that'll go like so. And I guess this is inset enough that the standoffs will just come around the sides. So we can work on this first and then get it attached to the base, I think. Oops. Okay. Let's test these stabs first before we get anything irreparably soldered. Let's see, get an enter. We need the 7U. And is that the right shift? I think it is. Let's grab a few. Now I'm trying to remember if Baja Nights has any windowed stuff. We got a caps lock. Although I wonder if the window would be better suited to full caps lock. As much as I am stepped stan. Yeah, I don't know if they did have any windowed stuff in here. We do have a windowed one. But I'm trying to see if it's all... if there was a full... there's control. It'd be really helpful if I just looked it up. DCS. Baja Nights. Windowed stepped for sure. This doesn't help me. This isn't the kind of thing I can go back on with a solder build. Tab. Maybe it was only stepped. I guess we'll go step then. It'll still come through. All right. I will save that one out just so I remember it. Oh wait, I need that shift though. I needed that shift. Oh no, I already had the shift. I am all over the place, y'all. It has been a very busy couple of weeks. All right, we'll just brace this here. It's interesting watching folks on their other soldering journeys at various points, like watching Mango and Chris do soldering recently and stuff, and doing plateless builds, and that is a whole nother level of courage that I am not prepared for. Let's see. Go ahead and get a few in here for stability. Man, this is a weird... I'm so used to feeling hot swap sockets and bracing hot swap sockets. It's a little confusing for me right now. This strange feeling. All right, get a few more for stability down here. And maybe a couple up here at the top just to hold things together for stab testing. And I suppose one in the enter key would be good too. Stabs sound okay. Don't know that I'm 100% on these switches, but another thing that worries me about soldering. It's like, what if I hate this? To redo everything. But I'm trying to think if there's something else I might want to use. I might actually take these out and do Obscuras. because I think we'll have a higher chance of me liking it. I think I want a long pole for this. So let me grab those real quick now that we're a half hour in. Goodness sakes. I'm gonna have to speed my way through. Those and also change build command with there we go. All right, let me fetch him. Oh, no, that's a different thing. All these black switches. Power time. I got plenty of these, so I figure if for some reason I end up really hating it, it's not as detrimental, or if I end up really wanting to put the cocoa blacks in something else. Extra careful of checking bent pins. No do-overs. And I think this is going to be the kind of build where if I really screw something up tonight, we're just going to let it go. And I can desolder and face the music another time. I'm not going to make everybody sit through that. And also I haven't used my desoldering gun yet. So how's everybody's Tuesday going? There's people in here, but everyone's being very quiet. Which is no shame at all, if you just want to lurk. By all means. I definitely do my fair share in other people's streams. Wow, y'all extra quiet today. Ah, yes. A little more of that sound I was wanting. More centrally located here. I may have my camera and lights set up. I don't get a lot of contrast here right in the middle, do we? There you go. There are actually switches going into this. It's just a little difficult to tell. It's also interesting not having, like, without having to have space for all the hot swap sockets and just space for the pins, of being able to have, like, not doing as much, like, north and south facing flipping stuff, which is interesting. Is that the end of the music? Oh, I guess so. Okay. I just didn't want to hear a bunch of bird sounds right now. All right. So, double check that each one has all the pins sticking out that are supposed to be there. Two. The pins are going where they are supposed to. Okay. I think we're looking good. So now we'll just make sure that everybody is seated fully. And that nothing is crooked. A little bit of everything is good and flush. Okay. I think we're there. Okay. Let us begin. Okay. Let's get the fan up here. This is going to be good. I'm hoping. We'll bring the iron over. Put the mouse over there. Get our solder. Okay, let me just get the lay of the land here. How we want to tackle this without accidentally melting the switches. Make sure I'm getting the pad and everything. Maybe we'll start with the space bar. There's a lot of clearance around it. All right. First off, let me just... Oops. A little too much solder here, maybe. Oops. Let's go over. There we go. All right. I'll try not to block things with my hat. So we can get flat on the pin here, that would help. Woo, smoky. Okay. Got little pyramids going on. Perfect. Maybe. We'll find out for sure later. But yeah, the chisel tip, it definitely helps if I rotate it slightly so that I can... I'll be right back. Very good. See you shortly. If I can... Yeah, rotate it to make more contact with the pin. Probably need a little bit more solder than that. Maybe not quite that much. Let's try to reflow that a little bit. You know, good enough. Ooh, that's good. That was a good one. If that's okay. bit smaller. I think that's okay. Alright. I can tell some of them I'm getting a little less than they should probably have, but I think that's okay for right now. It is looking like it's completing. And you can always add more solder, right? That's a little bit easier than trying to remove a solder mistake. Okay, let's... Does not need to be perfect. A bit too much, a bit too little, everything will still work. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Ouch. A little bit of spatter on myself there. Soldering, yes sir. First time soldering keyboard. I've done all those other little projects, but have not done a keyboard yet. So we are diving in. Let's go, indeed. We're starting easy with just a little Skelett 60 kit. Shark! Shark raid! Look at this shark. Isn't he neat? Welcome, everybody. Shark was taking a look at DCS Clown earlier, which was very cool. All right, come on, buddy. Heat up that pin. What's going on here? Also, Shark's set DCS Grass Valley is live and has been doing very well so far. It's only been up for, what was it, 4 days or so? Oh, that's right, you rebuilt the Neo with a new PCB. I was still yapping at the end there, forgot the raid is automatic. Oh no, did you get cut off? I've done that. Alright, so we got our bottom row. I think the circuits have been completed on those. Let's move on to the top. He was trying to plug Grass Valley when the raid cut him off, so it's nice of you to do too. Listen, I am always plugging Grass Valley. I'm a Grass Valley shill. In fact, there it is. You should all go buy it. They're doing down payment pricing right now, just in case, because, you know, there's different price breaks depending on how many of the different kits get sold and all that good stuff. So there it is. Everyone go buy a DCS Grass Valley. Oh, actually, there was one question I had for you, Shark. and I think I had seen the answer somewhere about it. But is the row 3 up arrow gonna only be offered around the same time as the Bodal ship group buy? Like kind of pairing those two together? Or is there an R3 up arrow in the kit as is? I didn't think so. It'll be part of... Okay, I thought so. I thought so, that makes sense. It's nice, I'll actually have 3 different sets that have an R3 up arrow if I want to use it. Which I think DCS Font Awesome, or DSS Font Awesome, UFO, and then Grass Valley. So if I do the cross arrows situation for the Bodal ship, that will be nice. I'm excited. You should be, man. I know it's been a lot of work, but it's very cool to see what had been intended as just a small little thing to kind of take off and get such traction. I cannot handle all the cool projects they're doing. Oh, God, Bowl? Yeah. Oh, I missed that. Hold on. I gotta make my chat window taller so I can actually see all these. With the board novelty? Yes, I love that. I love that key. You tell Bowl to delay it a bit. Yeah, I can't handle all the cool projects. I know, right? I also want to get in on the Juna. I am holding off until I can hear some more content on how the Juna sounds. But... I have high hopes for the Juno. 90%. I mean, you rendered it. It looks really great with Grass Valley. I think it looked fantastic with Gorp, especially, too. Skeletoon. Yeah. Yeah, the mint. The mint is my thought as well. I kind of like that a little bit over the blue one. Cigar's Bodal ship, Skeletoon, Nerve, Juno, yeah, and Grass Valley. It's wild. It's a, we are truly blessed at this point in the hobby. Some of these rad projects coming through. Let's get that smoke off of there. Woo-wee! I also heard people who don't buy Grass Valley cannot buy Lumen in Seafoam color. The Lumen does look very nice as well, thank you. People need to chill. Oh, the Jar 65. Oh yeah, all the Lienzo stuff that Manny has been... Or Lienzo? Lienzo? That Manu's been teasing. Listen, if any of y'all who are working on keyboards or anything need somebody to stream something for you, I am game. I am always game to give something a little stream. And you won't have to wait to try to fit into a more popular streamer schedule. I'm just saying. I have to look over. If you were EU, I know. I also wish I was in the EU. I mean, I've said as much. U.S. shipping sucks. That is true. Although I did just send out a package, one of our giveaways from last stream, to the EU. And even though I said I wouldn't ship outside the United States, it was, you know, it was a special circumstance. And yeah, I wonder who. I wonder. And it came out quite reasonable, actually. Granted, it wasn't like... It was plastic and not metal. And it was also, like, not the heaviest. So, that definitely helped make it not too outlandishly priced, but Someone got us up, Nana winning those. That's true, Nana didn't win. Eisenheim won it. But, anyway. Also, welcome, Naveed. I saw you back there. Pop in. Lumen weighs 2.3 kilograms, just the case. Ooh! I have been enjoying seeing progress on it. But yeah, too many cool projects. Eisenheim won it instantly, said give it to me. They won the KKD set. That's wild. And Eisenheim has won from me before as well. Eisenheim won a keyboard from me. He won the that early edition mode Envoy. So lucky. Don't worry, we'll be doing more giveaways. Luck maxing. I guess to stop the ONJ. Soldering's going well. It is overall, I would say, more straightforward than a lot of the other soldering we've done on the channel, because, like, as I mentioned, like, we've done a lot of, like, smaller component stuff, so, like, dealing with, like, microcontrollers with all of these tiny little pins that are very close to each other. So this is a little bit more forgiving. But again, I also don't feel bad if the microcontroller is slightly off, as long as it's completing the circuit, whereas I want all of the switches to be seated correctly and everything to be straight. So I guess it's just slightly different. But it's going well so far. My luck is so bad I wouldn't win even if it was just me in the chat. It'd pick the streamer. Oh, Shark. I don't know about that. The plate is what came with the kit. It's an FR4 plate. This is a solder kit, the Skelett 60 from Novel Keys. Yankar designed it, as far as I'm aware. And yes, it is an FR4 plate, as you can see, that kind of goes outside of the bounds of the PCB, and then it will have standoffs that attach to, like, a bottom plate that will all sit on. This right here, actually. There's the bottom. So, which is also FR4. Yep, this is a gift from my partner along with the soldering stuff, so that I could get some practice in. But I have solder PCBs for some other plates, and oh, thank you, Nikki. I'll take a drink as soon as I do this pin. Ooh, I'd say that one was damn near perfect. We're enjoying a nice American oatmeal stout from New Holland Brewing today. If you're not at all familiar with West Michigan, where I live, it was heavily settled, or encroached upon, you might say, by a lot of folks settlers from the Netherlands back in the day. And so there's a lot of Dutch influence here. I need to fix my control key. I think I forgot to solder it. Better than it soldering it and it not working at all, right? All right, now soldering right by the USB port. Let's be very careful. Haven't been able to get into stouts. I've tried, just can't. The best I can do is Guinness. I there's only a couple stouts that I've liked, and they're mostly by some local breweries here, like some of the larger branded kind of stuff I haven't gotten into. Guinness I don't like the taste of, but yeah, I do love Guinness potato chips. I don't know what it is, if you've never had them. They are very good. And I love the flavor of Guinness in that context, which is kind of strange. I just closed it after soldering in the LEDs and then remembered. What are we doing on time? Alright. I'm not crawling along too slowly, which is... I was afraid I might. Just kind of take way too long. Oh, come on. Ah! Maybe I should angle this a little bit more this way. What all, for those of you who solder, what board did you start your soldering journey with? I'm curious. It's taken me a while to build up to this point. Didn't know you were from West Michigan. When I lived in GR, I used to freaking Brewery Vivant. Oh, I love Brewery Vivant, which is now Vivant Brewery and Spirits. But yes, I go there quite frequently, actually. I love Wizard Burial Ground and all of those kind of beers that they do. They also had a weird beer flight that I tried last time that was really good. It was like a lemon yuzu beer. Ooh. It was so good. First time I did it was on the Salvation. Oh yeah, that'd be a good one to do it on. Don't remember. Oh, your first was on the Skelett too. Yeah, it's a great starter. And after the GH60. Nice. When did you move away from West Michigan Secret Meth? If you don't mind saying. We may have overlapped for a time. My partner and I moved here in 2018. So we've been here for about 8 years now, and we enjoy it. Yeah, the beer scene in West Michigan is pretty nuts. I like it a lot. It's been... I don't know by what body, I can't remember. But, it's been voted, the part where I live in, Grand Rapids, has been voted, Beer City, USA, multiple years in a row. Because we have we got like New Holland here, we've got, well, nearby. We have Founders. Founders is based out of here. So, and then we have a lot of smaller... independent breweries, meaderies, wineries, all sorts of stuff. Around 23, and then I relocated to the east. Still get to go once a year. Good times. Yeah, well, if you ever want to meet up or something, let me know. I'm here. There's like me and 2 other people in the local keyboard scene now. I feel like, well, 4 maybe, because Frederick, who's in chat, is a local. Master's Bedroom, friend of the channel, is a local, and so some other folks are occasionally nearby. Yeah, I know there's a more vibrant scene out east. Are you in Owl's Discord? I may have even seen you in there. Oh yeah, there you go. Yep. I always end up just calling people by their handles. Yeah, I'd love to come to something y'all do out there at some point. But... I am going to be in Ann Arbor for like a day and a half in June. But I'm mostly going to be hanging out with my partner. We are going to see Some improv comedy. I didn't forget to solder. I'm missing a diode? Oh no, I'm sorry, man. The Yes Ann festival, comedy festival, is going to be happening in Ann Arbor in June. And I'm going to go, oh, you're going to KeyCon in June? Me too! I'll see you there. And Masters will be there as well. We're both going to be traveling in from GR. Hanging out in the Windy City. That's excellent. I'll see you there. How many boards are you planning to bring? I'm debating. I know the max is 3. We'll have to see what I've got available at that time. I will be taking the train around the lake to Chicago, so that's going to be a good time. Gonna bring 2 boards and 1 10x10 resin box. Very cool. My guess is I'll probably bring the Manta after I build it, if it turns out nice. Although I imagine it's gonna be there's gonna be a lot of Mantas at KeyCon this year. But no shame in that. Again, I'd hoped to bring the Event Horizon, but no chance of that happening for the next few months, probably. Hey, Fetty. Shonice, what's up? Welcome in, everybody. If you're just getting here, we are soldering a keyboard for the very first time. I think that needs a little bit more solder. There we go. I got a little mountainy, but that's okay. Welcome, friends. Check. So that's the top row. Let's see. I think that one got a little too blobby. I got a little ambitious on that one. But I think overall we are looking pretty good on the top row. Let's keep trucking. Let's keep this momentum. I'll probably end up bringing some of the smaller boards I have to KeyCon just because of ease of transport. I'll be riding the train there, and I'll also be riding CTA to get to the venue. Because I'm actually staying closer to downtown because my whole family is going. Not to KeyCon itself, but to Chicago. We're going to make it into a little bit of a trip. So hanging out in the city for a couple days, staying closer to downtown, and then I'll just ride the blue line up to the venue probably. And so I want some stuff that's a little more portable to just like have in my bag. I have to remember not to block the camera with my head. Let's reflow that a little bit. Ah, stop being so pointy. There we go. Need to book my flight and hotel to KeyCon. Yeah, man. It's gonna be a party. We should do like a dinner or something. If anyone's interested for afterwards. Yeah, I'm really glad I get to go to KeyCon this year since I can't go to Novel Keys. It was such a... It was a very special time last year. I really treasure that experience. When you first mentioned meetup, nice. Yeah, Novel Keys was my first one last year. That's amazing, coming into your first keyboard meetup, having a set, I guess it will have completed by then, right? Already having a set that's gone through a successful group buy. I feel like that's like automatic meetup royalty. So grateful. You deserve it, man. It's excellent. Get some of those fumes off of there. I didn't check when will Grass Valley fulfill. I'll let Shortcup answer that. SP can be pretty fast. I mean, it depends. They can be faster with like stock colors and stuff, from what I understand. But I don't remember right offhand what the fulfillment timeline is for Grass Valley. Whoops. That's kind of a weird bubble-looking thing. What's up with that? It'll just flow out over the... Oh, I guess it filled the whole pin area. That's interesting. Huh. Sort of dependent. Q3, Q4, like Orange on Beige finished before UFO, even though UFO ran. Yeah, but I imagine, yeah, with UFO had so many more kits, I imagine that took a lot longer to both produce and to QC. Also using 12 colors, so hope all plastics in stock. Yeah. I think for UFO they had to order more plastic for a certain color. I mean, that makes sense. There was a lot of kits and like multiple shades of blue and yellow going on in the mix. Suck up all those fumies. Maybe I'll move this a little bit closer just so the fan can grab that as well. I'm excited for people to experience DTS back to... Yeah, you're showing that off in the stream today. And I am serious. If you ended up creating a box for Grass Valley, I would go in on it. But Wish me luck with my dad. Fix it. Good luck, dude. I am sending good vibes to your diode. I think it would have been fun was considering just turning that design into a desk mat. Ooh, now that's a nice idea. Yet another desk mat. To echo your sentiment from earlier today. But something nice and clean and classy like that, like, would go with a lot more than just Grass Valley, and I would be interested in that. That's typically what I go. I mean, as you can tell by my interest in like the transit desk mat, which I have on the desk, which is also running again, by the way, for anyone. It works. Good job, man. I tend to go for more subtle desk mats. A little bit more applicable to different situations. I don't go in for I mean, I do like some bright colored ones. But I more so enjoy understated stuff like that. Hate SMD soldering. Something for me to look forward to, huh? But yeah, the majority of my desk mats are fairly subtle. The brightest colored one I have, though, is one I designed for my work. So I let that one slide, but it's also just a really nice blue with a bunch of our icon library on it. So it's fairly straightforward. It's not doing anything crazy. You don't want Kraken Cap? Yeah. I mean, I know we talked about it earlier, but yeah, that desk mat in particular has multiple problems for me in it. Like, I don't care for the illustration style because it's like, you know, it's aping Rubber Hose, but it's not really quite there. Like, the composition of it is too cluttered. Like, it feels like somebody who's, maybe this is harsh, but I have an art and design background, so I feel like I can say this sort of thing, but that it's someone who's trying to ape a style without understanding it, and the choices and limitations that went into the original. And so it's a little too busy for me. I can smell the solder and turn this back on. Thank you. Yeah, so it's like, it's meant to be like inspired by 90s cartoons. And so there is some stuff in there like that, but it's like Rubber Hose style, which was more like the 1920s and 30s cell animation. And so it's a kind of a weird mishmash that I think it feels to me like it's just trying to glom onto the Rubber Hose zeitgeist right now, if you consider, you know, like Skeletoon and like all of the other Rubber Hose sets and desk mats and special edition keyboards, and like, or even as much as like that video game, what is it, Mouse PI that just came out, that is all black and white Rubber Hose, you know, Doom shooter. And so it's like, it's definitely a thing right now, and it felt more like trying to grab onto that and make money off of it than necessarily being something special. That was my extremely quick read of it. More so, just subjectively, I don't like it. Because yeah, to like Nana's point, I prefer something a little bit more muted. Because I want my keyboard to be the star of the show. And for the most part, I can't see the desk mat. You know? You know what I'm saying? So anyway, that may be harsh. But that's my take on that desk mat. I think it's trying to be too many things. It ain't great. I mean, I know some people are really into it, and that's fine. Some people are really excited about it, and I'm not going to yuck their yum by any means. But that is just my critique of it. Looking forward to the Transit. I need to get... I'm considering getting another one as a backup, but I'd really want to get a mini. One of the mini ones. So I used to use just a little mini desk mat, and I really liked it, and I kind of miss it. I had one of those white TX little mini mats. Alright, be extra careful around the electronics. Thoughts on the GAF desk mat? I don't know that I know that one. At least not by that name. Feel free to throw in a link, Nikki, if you want to what you're talking about. Gaff goated? Is it give a fuck? Or is it, what does it mean, something else? Grimy as fuck. I want to know what it is. Oh, you're sending me a pic? Oh, yeah, I did see this picture earlier. Yeah, see, it has a lot more going on for it. Yeah. The composition is much more straightforward. It has more of a design point of view. It looks like it was, like, designed to be in that colorway. Maybe I'm wrong, as opposed to, like, the one that's, like, the other one that was, like, colored and, like, we'll throw in a black and white one as well. Or maybe it was designed the other way around. But that's, like, kind of a different set of limitations you're working with when you're working in shades of gray versus working in color, so. All the sculpts together. That's cool. I do like that. I wouldn't say it's my style exactly. I haven't gone in for as much of like the current rubber hose craze and some of that kind of stuff that's similar. But I can appreciate that for the work that was done. All right. I think that row is looking okay. There's a couple weird duds, but I think we'll be all right. Let's go to the last row and power through. This isn't that recent, it was a bit ago? Well, sure, but I mean, like, this has been going on for a bit. When I mean current, I don't mean, like, immediately now, but within the last few years. Tip clean. Gotta clean your tip, everybody. Gents, you know what I'm talking about. This is a public health PSA. Keep your tip clean. Expo Legends are wild. I love them. I think it's so cool that Max open sourced them on Yuzu, so you could basically get whatever you wanted with Expo Legends on there. I think that's pretty cool. I would love to see another run of Expo that was double shot. Although I've had no issues with the UV printing on these. I don't know if it's just my skin chemistry. I haven't had trouble with UV printing on any of my all UV printed sets like this or Terminal. You will have at some point? Okay. I know that's what they say, but I've used this one pretty heavily and haven't had any issues. So, I have no doubt, I mean, it's just the nature of the material that eventually, after years maybe, that will happen, but I haven't had any reported issues that others have had. Because I know that skin oils, lotion use, all that kind of stuff does play into it as well. So that being said, as I said, I would love there to be a double shot Expo, and then there wouldn't be any risk of that happening, but you had to have an issue with Abstract. I assume in the future maybe I'll sell it for $400 if it rolls off. Yeah, Abstract I think is in high demand right now. Someone from our local community daily used his Wobster relic for 6 weeks and the sub-legends began to fall off. Yikes. Well, yeah, why did I skipped a row? What am I doing? I gotta pick up the pace. I'm yapping too much. You can never yap too much. Well, thanks, friend. It wouldn't be as big of a deal if I weren't stuck to a harder time limit for these streams. half hour to go, roughly. I think we'll be in good shape. Be back in a bit. All right. See you soon, man. Appreciate you. Woo. That one got a little flooded, I feel like. I hope that's okay. For some of these pins that are real close together. It's all the same pad, though, so it's got to be okay. It's got to be. Can I get your MX Black's recipe? What do you mean? How do you mod them if you mod them? I do not. I have never modded a Switch in my life, nor have I ever used an MX Black. I don't know if that disqualifies me from the hobby. Starts off by licking him. Very rare, I respect it. I've never bought any. I mean, I say I've never used them. I probably have used one at a meetup. I'm sure I've typed on a build with MX Blacks in it before. I have never bought any MX Blacks or used them in anything I've built. I should clarify. I would love to at some point. The closest I've used, I've used MX Browns, and I've used Nixies, but I've never used straight up like MX Blacks or MX2A Blacks. Like, have not. Whatever that means about me. I know other people have lots of opinions. Masters and Tyler in the Discord definitely has his own recipes of things. I think he often does like a spring swap and films them and does some other stuff. So I would hit him up because he's much more knowledgeable about Switch modding than I am. That's where I got my Nixies from him actually. Never tried Blacks either. I tried many Switches when I entered the hobby and landed on Cherry, never looked back. I mean, if that is your jam, that's fantastic. I know a lot of people swear by Cherries. I've liked the modded Nixies I've used quite a bit. Those are the only Cherry Switches I've really dove into at all. I would love to give Browns another shot, though. I have a bunch of Browns that were soldered into my first keyboard, my Tofu, and I would love to, now that I have the tools, I want to desolder them and actually mod them in some way. I've bought 1,000+ Switches that I know won't use since I joined the hobby. That's a tough part of it, and that's also partly why I do a lot of Switch giveaways. Because I buy a lot of Switches, and some I'm just like, I don't really jive with these Switches. Like, they're perfectly fine, but they're not my preference. So I'll just give them away. So I'm trying to psyop myself into being a Cherry guy. There are definitely a lot of Cherry evangelists out there, I will say. Fire Finches are great. I prefer over Blacks personally. Oh, very interesting, Drew. By the way, welcome. I noticed you were a first-time chatter back there. Thank you for joining. I have heard good things about the Fire Finches as well, but I have yet to try them. I already have so many Switches that I'm not using right now. I've had to kind of put a moratorium on Switch purchases for the time being until I either use what I've got or get rid of what I got. Might need to institute a one-in, one-out system. This is a good time test for me to know that it does take me roughly 2 hours to solder a 60% keyboard. Going forward. At least as I'm getting used to what I'm doing. So I can budget time appropriately in the future. I don't know that I'll ever solder something bigger than 60% on stream at this rate. Unless I can dedicate some extra time. Get a larger stream slot. I have one tactile cherry, one linear cherry. That's enough for me. Yep. What can I say? I'm an HMX girly. I like the loud clack. I like all the new tactiles they've been doing, and you can find a switch to fit almost any theme you want. Whether that be chromatically or sound and feel profile. My issue with HMX is that there are just too damn many kinds. It's a double-edged sword. With like, I could find an HMX switch to fit anything, but can't keep up with releases. Got so many HMX switches. I mean, 2 streams ago we just built with 2 new sets of HMX switches, so it's like we got so many. And some I'm saving for some other builds. Like I've got a set of HMX switches I'm saving for the event horizon specifically. Some other ones with some other builds in mind. Although I am going to use Gateron switches in the Manta. Almost all my boards are built with cherry. Nice. I mean, you can get a very consistent baseline sound, I imagine, working with the same switches, and you kind of know what to expect and how to tune a board. I imagine if you're like, I know this is how black sound on this kind of mount and this kind of plate, usually, and be able to go from there. So, I mean, that's a great, I guess in scientific terms, like a great control for board experimentation. Hold on. Coming out of the spool here. There we go. Starting to wrap around the side. Did we end our music? We did. Let's do this. Well, I don't know how well you can actually hear any of the music with the fan going, but I'm hoping it's okay. And that it's not too loud. Alright, last one. I think. I'll double check that I didn't miss any. And then maybe we can do a quick test. Hold on, I need to clean. Got some burned flux on the end. There we go. Better. All right. Get the rest of these fumes off of here. Leave that fan running for a sec, just in case there's lingering stuff here. I do got a bunch of flux crusties on here, but I'm not gonna worry about that right now. Let's see. Did I get all the pins? I think I did. Let's turn off the soldering iron. And let's plug this back in real quick before we get to the actual fun bit. And let us see. Let's reset. I'm just gonna block the LED, but I don't care. It's working! It's working! This one isn't. Oh, it might be... Can I do that here? Or is that? Oh no, that's here with the... Oh, I thought it was one of these. Okay. I think we're mostly working. Test matrix. Oh yeah, that still isn't working for whatever reason, which is really strange. The test matrix doesn't actually work. But everything else seems to be. Right shift. If I remap these real quick. Oh, that's fun. It's just not working at all. Well, I don't know what that is. Go away. Let's see if we can reload and get Via to actually function. Okay. So 7U bottom row, there we go. Or I need to change that here in the layout. Split backspace, split right, and a 7U bottom row. Cool. So let me remap these real quick and then we'll make sure that they're working. So if we go... Na, 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 na. I'll just do these to arrows real quick so I can see if they're actually functioning. Yeah. And that's a function key essentially, so, or a mode shifter. So I think we are in excellent shape. I don't think any of the keys misfired. Ponder the orb. All right, let's all ponder the orb. There's Ron. Let me. Whoops. We'll just have it spinning over there for a second. Let that go for a bit. All right. Excellent. The keys function as expected. I just had to reteach myself how to use Via for a second, that's all. So, we got a little time here. So, we'll need to attach, let me get, oh, sorry, Orb. We'll reponder you in a second. Let me wrap this up with all the flux inside. Clean that off later. All right, now we'll do this again. We'll let that go for a bit. And I think I put all the standoffs here. So we need this little guy will do the trick. Thanks for the follower, Bob. Follower, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. See if we can actually get this done in a timely fashion. These standoffs are a little fiddly. How you doing? I just soldered my first keyboard. And that's a really good feeling. Not as scary as I thought it might be. Okay, let's get this. Nice! First solder board was the bias. Ooh, I do like the bias. I am not biased about it, but I do like the bias. Oh, whoops, wrong side. What am I doing? That would have been really gnarly. Congrats, thank you. It's a lot easier than some people make it out to be. It's just doing it and getting the concept down. Yeah, I mean, I did a lot of practice on smaller things, like these that I showed off. I did this one on stream not that long ago, actually, a little Simon memory game, and then I also made an LED ornament closer to Christmas. So it was good practice because some of those components are more fiddly, actually, than keyboard switches. The extra expense and the commitment to the switches, yeah, for sure. I mean, I also have some desoldering tools, so I mean, I'm not like 100% locked in on the switch choices, but yeah. Will you try soldering Milmax too? I would like to, but exactly what Drew said, I've heard it's more difficult. So I might work my way up to that. But I would like to Milmax as well. Because I do like the, as a up to this point, hot swap guy. I love that flexibility, but I would love to be able to make some things more flexible, like space bars and, you know, stuff like that. So a bit more difficult. I found the hardest part making sure you have the right size solder. You want the thin stuff, makes it easier. Oh, sure. That does make sense. Okay. Base and the top. So a lot of open space under there. It's kind of like the Float 65 in that way, almost. Which I am looking forward to as well. I was kind of hoping there'd be a solder version of that. But I guess if it does well, they could always offer that. I found the easiest part just letting Bob do my soldering. I've done that before with coworkers. Who have liked soldering and also had the tools, because I didn't have any of the equipment until recently, like back in February, and so I sent off a couple boards to friends to do a little trade or something, do a little design work for them, and they'd do soldering for me, something like that. You use the 0.015 for Milmax. Good to know. I'll get there eventually, but I'm just having only... This is like my third solder project, technically, so... We're taking it step by step. Nice! Alright, let's throw some keycaps on here. See how it does. We do have our Windows caps lock, even though the LED is more to the right, but you know what? I don't care. Get that nice hollow sound. That's used also for mill maxing and for soldering. Takes longer, that's okay. Probably get a nice flow out of it. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 6. Backspace. Let's get all these guys. A little shift. Tapping out. Good night. Thanks for the stream. Yeah. Oh, wow. It's early. That's right. You're in the EU. Thanks for coming. Have a great night. Appreciate you. Scroll lock. Don't need that. It is odd having like a 0-degree typing angle on this a little bit. Baja Nights is nice. And I thought since we're already doing like everything's very dark on here as is anyway, why not? See, ZXC, VB, and why not give it a go? Don't need functions. What else we got? Don't need full backspace. There's ZXC. For switches, I use 0.8. I'd have to look it up. That's, yeah, I'm wondering what I have right here. What is on this spool? 0.8. That's what I'm using. The replacement PCB doesn't work? Oh, for the Neo? I'm sorry, Shark. That sucks. That is blank. These are not blacks. These are mode Obscuras. Conan, hello. You are close to the tail end here. GHJ, just putting on some caps of my first solder build. Yeah, 0-degree is weird. I'm just like, everything feels like it's leaning, like I'm falling forward because it is flat. It's a bit odd. I don't need arrows. Do need a plus though. And a 0. 9. So TYUIO. We'll escape. There's our function. The blanks are the Windows keys. Oh, that's right. Actually, yeah, I'll leave that as is. We'll leave it. HKL, GHJ, 3. Oh yeah, let's use the arrowed versions of these. That's more fun. That's more fun. Let's see, there's another blank. 8. Ah, there's the J I want. There it is. I also want the K that goes with it. And our Baja, of course. Do you prefer scooped or bars? I prefer, well, if it's DCS, I prefer nipples. Then bars, then scoops. That is my preference. DCS sounds so good. Loving scoops recently. Interesting. The shift in shape was a little too jarring for me. Oh, I guess I need Alt-ger over here now. Or one of these. Where is the K that I want? Where did it go? Whoops. Oh, there it is. It's right there. Say no to scooping. Stop trying to make scoop happen. It's not going to happen. All right. There it is. A Skelett 60. Look at all that clearance under there. Fun bottom illustration. Although I imagine, well, Skelett goes this way, but the guy's head goes this way, so I don't actually know. I'm going to say that this is the way, although a lot of the tools and stuff are upside down. You know what? I don't care. Totally flat. Here, let's... There's a reason why most sets come with scoops in the alpha kit and bars on the back page near the numpad. Because somebody made a mistake. Boy, that's really slight. I'll need to get some little bump on feet or something for this. Let me pause the music. See how this sounds. So let me... Is everything working as expected? Yes, good. Let me open up my little pad here. Oh no, wait, hold on, please. We gotta... This is not mapped correctly because this is still set to, even though the layout is right, this should be backspace. And this is Le Pap and the Grave Grave. I don't know actually know how to say that. Where is that one? Gotta remap things to be correct. There it is. There we go. And while I'm at it, I'm also gonna flip-flop. This should be left alt because I'm a Mac boy. Left win. There we go. Perfect. So let's see how this sounds. Let's do... Got that nice, very hollow spacebar. Yeah, we'll snooze that ad. We don't need that right now. LED coming on? Yep. Just can't see it through that one right now. All right. Oh my goodness. I can't type at this angle. Ah, it's gibberish. It does. I love the sound of the alphas. But yeah, I will need to do some kind of mod around the spacebar, I think, because that is just too resonant for me. Of course, some of this might be affected too if I can get like some little bump-ons or something. Change the acoustics a little bit. But that's actually quite fun. There it is. Let me hold it up. Hold it up for the thumbnail. That's really cool. Maybe I'll do even a little bit of work with the feet. Get some bigger feet on the back or something. Give it a little bit of an angle. That might be kind of nice. That's really fun. I'm so glad this worked out. That's very cool. Well, let's use it. Let's use it to do a raid. Now that we're done, I got a jet. Let me pull up Twitch here. Maybe we'll do some fun modding on this in the future. Is anybody streaming keyboards right now? I don't see anybody streaming keyboards right now. Oh, thank you, Frederick. That's very kind. I'll have to bring it into the factory if I can. I might have to tone down the acoustics a little bit before I bring it into the co-working space. But it's, you know, it's very portable. It'd be fun to also, you could also create your own case for it very easily. Because it's just got these 8 mounting points. As long as there's a spot for the integrated daughter board, you know. Let's see. Let's raid Robot Spacer. He does a lot of cool retro games and stuff like that. What is he typing? Type Help, a mystery game inspired by Obra Dinn. I'm getting him pulled up. It looks like he hasn't started quite yet. He's about to, but he is live. So let me get through this ad. And then we can do the raid. So let me go ahead and hit the command. And we'll all get piled up and ready to go. I'll say hi to Robot Spacer for me. I will be in there for a little bit. We'll give him a little boost before he gets going. And I will see y'all next time. We'll have some more soldering fun, maybe. I've got some more soldering kits to do, so we'll see how that goes. See ya!